Hello everyone. This video is for all those people who are looking for a job, actively looking for a job. Now, as a fresher student, when you apply for a job, the first and the foremost thing you need is to have a good CV. Today, I'm going to take you through some elements of how to prepare a CV. Now, what is a CV? It is called a curriculum vitae. We also know it by the name of resume. We'll take you through the step-by-step process of what all will go into a CV and certain skills that the companies are looking for in a candidate. A CV is a personal document. It is a summary of who the candidate is. It will also include your academic credentials, your work experience if any, your skills, your character, your interest, and likewise. So how do we properly align them? How do we properly frame them is what we're going to understand today. Your CV is your entry pass into getting yourself for an interview. So let's look at how to prepare your CV. The first thing that should reflect in your CV is your name. Many times we've seen people put curriculum vitae or resume as a title. Now that is a wrong thing. Reason being, this is your personal document, like I already mentioned before. So it is your name that has to reflect in the top. Just below your name, you could give your email ID and your contact number. Now this is important because when the interviewer or the hiring manager would want to contact you, they should immediately be able to look at your email ID or your contact details. You may also put your address over there. Coming to the next slide would be your objective. Now, many a times we've seen students copy paste a career objective from Google. I would not say this is wrong, but many a times this is not aligned to what you are looking at. It is whatever you feel good, some good beautiful words there, you just copy paste it in your CV. Rather, let's make your own objective. And how do you do that? We include the position that you want. So what position are you applying for? So precisely what job position or a profile are you applying for? What is a functional area? A functional area implies what kind of a department you wish to work for. It could be the accounts department, admin department, HR, marketing, sales, education, likewise. The next is the industry that you're looking for. We have different kinds of industry where job opportunities are available and which particular industry you wish to work for. This would comprise of your objective. Now this is something which has to be altered as per job changes. Now if you're applying to a different company with a different job role or a slightly different job role, you will need to make it the required changes. So a career objective has to be tailor-made according to the requirement of the company. This is very important. Now this comprises of maybe 1 or 2 sentences. That's it. You may either make it into a sentence or you can put it simply like a bullet point. That's your option there. Moving on, next is a profile. Now a career objective or profile, you may only use one of them. I have seen some CVs which has both of them, but it is an option. You may either add that or your profile. I would prefer going with the profile. Now what is a profile? It talks about a brief description of who you are. And what should this include? It should include your character, what kind of a person you are or who you are. It could be a sensitive person, a confident personality, an introvert, an extrovert, a self-motivated person, etc. You know who you are better. Apart from that, it will include your skills. Now skills are those skills which are technical skills and soft skills which will help you to get to that job. So this profile can be framed into 2 or 3 sentences. You might also talk about your qualification here if you need and if you have a work experience. Now this CV is particularly for all the fresher students. This is for those students who are preparing your CV for the first time. So you may include 2 or 3 sentences which talks about you. If you have had a part-time work experience, you may include it here. So you've worked as so and so. So how would you start it? You could start by saying I am so and so. These are my skills and This is the work that I have done. So all this put together, 2 or 3 sentences will talk about who you are. Many a times when these HR managers look at your CV, they have very limited time. They just run through your CV. So if you find, if there is a profile which talks a brief about you, that will be absolutely great, whether they want to go in through the detail of the CV or they just want to stop it there. So make sure that you are investing some time to create a good profile for yourself so that it can be attractive and appealing to the one who is reading it. Moving on, next one would be the education segment. Now here this will talk about the basic qualifications you have that will enable you to get the job. This will include your present qualification. For example, you are a graduate or a postgraduate, you will put that first, followed by what college or university. I would prefer that you put the university details there, which university you went to, followed by the year that you are qualified. So that will go in that chronological order. The latest qualification would come the first. Now, as a graduate, there are many students who have done projects. So this is again one segment that you include in your CV. What is a project that you have done? If it has a name, you can include that name. If you had a particular role, you worked as a leader there, you may mention your role there. Or if not, what was the topic project about? And what were the learning outcomes? Now, for example, you might have done a survey about a particular product. What did you learn or what would you find out after doing the survey is also something that you have to mention. This would again comprise of maybe a couple of sentences. That should be enough. So project will include what is a project, the work you have done there, and what was a learning outcome or what were your findings from that project. Skills. The most important segment in the CV is your skills. Now this will determine whether you are suitable for the job or not. This is divided into 2 segments. One is a soft skill, another one is a technical skills. Now soft skills are those which shows your personality trait. This will help you whether you can work or grow in that job. These may include your communication skills, your decision-making skills, leadership qualities, problem-solving skills, and flexibility. Now that may vary as per what skills you have, depending on the job. Please ensure that you are using the keywords which are there in the job profile that you're looking for. What is required from the job profile or for in that candidate, those words should be reflecting in your CV. So make sure you match your soft skills there. The next one is a technical skills. Now technical skills basically means what are you doing or what work you would be doing. Now for an accounting profession, it could be preparing the books of accounts, knowing the journal entries, knowing how to prepare a bank reconciliation statement, Microsoft Excel. These are called as the technical skills. Now this is specific to the subject that you're going to be learning. So whatever subject and what skills you have learned from that subject, technical skills or the subject related skills, this is something will come under technical head column. So both these are mandatory and this is a very important and key skills that has to be seen on a CV. Achievement and participation. So while in school and college, I'm sure most of us would have participated in a lot of extracurricular activities. These activities are conducted by the colleges to hone your skills. So if you have participated in, say, sports, arts, or management fest, likewise, please mention that. It is not necessary that you may have to win an award here. If you have won awards, you may mention about that, or you may just mention about what all areas or which all activities you participated in. Now this need to be put in bullet points and not in complete sentence. Please ensure that. Interest. Very important segment again. Most of us like to do a lot of things in our free hours. We watch movies, we go out with family and friends, we listen to music, etc. But can you identify one interest or one passion that you are really interested about or really that you want to do? Write about that. Also mention why you like it. So for example, I could write gardening. I enjoyed gardening because I like to see greenery around me. That's one way you can write it. Or perhaps cooking is my interest. I like to try out various dishes watching the YouTube videos because I'm a foodie myself. very briefly in one sentence can be included in your interest segment. Many times we see students writing, listening to music, watching television, etc. Now these are things that you do when you're bored. I understand that. But do you have anything concrete to talk about? Put that here. It could be traveling. Why are we traveling? Or for example, if you're an off-road biker, why are you interested in off-road biking? Whatever your interest is, you could mention here. Languages. This is important, especially when you're moving to bigger cities. You may need to know multiple languages. So they would want to know what all languages you can handle. English, followed by your national language, Hindi, and your mother tongue. If you know any other language specifically to any state, you may mention that also. Certain skills, soft skills that employers look for in a candidate are listed here, and you may choose your skills accordingly. Now, a few more things, tips before we wind up here is create your own CV. You may find n number of templates on Google Docs or on your apps. You may choose any font or any template which you are comfortable using. Ideally, a CV is 1 or 2 pages maximum. If you can fit it into 1 page, that will be great. Number 3, when you're preparing, please ensure that you are preparing with complete honesty. You do not need to lie in your CV. The next one is to talk about about spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes. Once you finish preparing your CV, please go through the CV once again to check for any grammatical errors or spelling errors. Ensure that your CV is aligned properly to the left. Use bullet points which are consistent. Use a font size which are same throughout the CV. Be mindful about the size of the fonts. It should not be too big and too small. When you use spaces, make sure that you use it appropriately. You do not need to extend it to 2 pages and use spaces unnecessarily. CV is an important segment. Prepare it, get it corrected from somebody whom you know, and then post it. All the very best for your CV.